This podcast is brought to you by Podcast Nation.
Shopping is hard, right? But there's a better way. Stitch Fix online personal styling makes it easy. I just give my stylist my size, style, and budget preferences. I order boxes when I want and how I want. No subscription required. And she sends just for me pieces. Plus outfit recommendations and styling tips. I keep what I love and send back the rest. It's so easy. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Spotify. That's stitchfix.com/Spotify.
Welcome to Nirvana Sisters, where we discuss all things health and well-being to help you achieve your highest state, your nirvana. Hi, I'm Amy Sherman, a marketing exec with a passion for wellness and beauty.
Hi, I'm Katie Chandler, a former fit model that has a passion for health and fitness.
We are sisters-in-law who share the same love for well-being, ready to sift through all the self-care noise and bring you a splash of what we think is fun. So let's get started. In today's episode, we chat with Stefany Gittleman, who is one of my close friends. She is a superstar. She has 20 years of experience in marketing and advertising. She's worked at the New York Times. She's worked at MTV. She's worked at Luxury Link. And she's also top ranked with the #1 skincare company in the US. She's launched thousands of brands. She has a media company called The Gold Maze and prides herself on really smart ideas that pop, and she has incredible creative ability to bring them to life.
Yeah, Amy, Stefany is such a powerhouse, not only in business, her knowledge of skincare. She gave us so many great tips. I, for one, since we talked to her, have been using one of her tips to have better cell turnover. So you're going to have to listen to find out what that is because it's working. She tells us what products to use and in which order we should be using them, and just helps you get to know your skin better and how to take care of it. She really gave us a lot. It was a fun episode. So listen and enjoy.
In this week's episode of Nirvana Sisters, we welcome Stefany Gittleman to the pod, and we're so excited to have you, Steph.
Thank you.
Stefany is all sorts of fabulous, and I won't go into her whole bio because she'll talk about it with us, but she's also one of my closest friends in the world and really family. I am just so happy to have her on the show. She's such a busy, fierce boss lady, and the fact that we got her on the show is very, very exciting. So we're going to go into our weekly Nirvana. Katie, why don't you start this week?
My weekly Nirvana surprise is tied to food again. I started this week, I did this food delivery service called Pete's Paleo, and it was just so epic. I desperately needed a break from cooking. I wanted healthy food. I still needed something delicious and yummy, and it was the first time trying it. I honestly didn't know anyone that's ever tried it, but it had decent reviews and it was great. It was seriously like I had a private chef cooking for me every night.
Really?
And all I did, it came frozen, and all I did was throw it in the microwave. And it wasn't like processed and preservatives and everything. It was just flash frozen thing. It's farm fresh, and then they make it the next day, and then they ship it to you the next day, packed on dry ice. It was really, really good, but it was nice.
Wow.
It was nice to just not have to cook all week.
That is nice. It's always hard to figure out every night, what am I going to make tonight?
Exactly.
What do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? My Nirvana of the week is that I got to indulge in some self-care this week, and I got a microneedling and PRP treatment. And I've gotten it before, but I hadn't gotten it in about a year. It was just nice to go somewhere and have somebody work on my face without me doing anything. So I just sat there in the chair. I closed my eyes. They put on the numbing cream and they did all this stuff. And I just sat there in complete zen and relaxation just to have someone doing something. And I was just in silence without talking to anyone. So that was my Nirvana of the week because it was just super peaceful. What about you, Steph?
So mine, I think, was just with everything that's going on, I felt like a lot of the repetition was happening day after day after day. And this week I woke up and I said, I have the power to change the day. So what I did was I got a pedicure, and I have been someone who has not gone into any nail salons in like a year. And I went early. And it totally changed everything. It made me feel normal a little bit. And I felt that like that little change that I made for myself that morning kind of carried over and spilled over into the rest of my day. And it just changed up the monotony.
I feel you on that one. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm desperate for one.
And just breaking it up, right? Getting out and doing something for yourself for a change. That's great. Well, Steph, I want to get into our quickfire questions with you so we can let the listener know a little bit about you. Let's start off with, you're an entrepreneur. How long have you been at it with, you're with Rodan and Fields, and then you've created your own company, The Gold Maze. How long have you been at both?
So I took a little bit of a zigzag and went away from the traditional workplace 8 years ago. And I was one of the first people to start with Rodan and Fields. And because I've always had a deep rooted passion in media, one thing I always wanted to do was service and brand lots of different clients. And so I was able to form The Gold Maze, which is a social media company.
Why did you end up focusing on beauty and skincare, do you think, with Rodan and Fields? You were just attracted to it? It's something that has always been important to you?
I don't think the category in and of itself was very important, but when I was younger and then into college, the only thing that ever changed my face was Rodan and Fields' first product, which was an acne solution. And I was on that product for 10 years, and they did what no other dermatologist could do. And so I had a lot of faith in the product. And when I got wind of this business opportunity and it being so different from what I was doing in my career, I said, you know what, I have to have something different go on in my life. And this was what I was looking for. I just didn't know that I needed it. And then I fell in love with the aspect that so many people struggle with their skincare and their skincare decisions and their complexion. And, you know, if somebody came to me back when and was like, I have something that can help you feel a little bit more confident about your skin, or maybe I could help you change around, you know, your business, personal and work-life balance, I definitely would have taken them up on it. So I think that the category that I'm in is very of the moment, but it kind of followed after I originally saw that there was such a need for the category.
And a proof of product for you. That's exciting. I could see how that would be inspiring to you. What was your background before all of this?
I spent some time working at MTV when I was young and out of college. I actually, being that Amy is like my sister, she pulled me into Warner Brothers and I was an intern there. And then I went on to be one of the youngest people that the NewYorkTimes.com had ever hired. I was there for a period of time. I then went on to be the vice president of advertising global sales for a luxury media company called LuxuryLink. RNF came into the picture. 2 years in, I was able to leave LuxuryLink and then started a couple different social media companies thereafter that. So I have a really fond, some would say borderline obsession with media. I love to stay on trend and be really cognizant of how the media environment can shape and pop businesses up to a new level.
That's so cool. It's so layered.
Okay, next up, Steph. What is your number one tip for skincare?
So without fail, you have to wash your face. I think so many people just don't take their makeup off. They go to bed and say, hey, I didn't wear any makeup today, so I'm not washing my face. And they just roll into bed. And as we age, that's absolutely not smart. You have to take care of your skin. You have to hydrate your skin. You have to make sure that you're putting on proper products to deal with anything that is going on with your skin. So that's my number one tip.
And that actually leads me to my next question, which is really, what is your favorite products for skincare specifically?
So of course, I'm a little biased, but I will say that seasonally right now, dryness is an issue. And dryness lends to a lot of other issues with your skin. When your skin is dry, it can cause you to actually break out. It can cause you to look like you have wrinkles, and it can cause you to not have proper skin cell turnover. So without fail, one of my favorite product lines from Rodan and Fields is the hydration line, because it increases your moisturization up to 200%. And that's good for your face and good for your body. Alternatively, I think that a lot of people are picky with their face washes. So it's important that you know what kind of face wash you like. Some people like to suds it up. Some people like a mask. Some people like a scrub. Just make sure that you are using some sort of wash in the morning, at night. It doesn't even have to be the same one, but that you are always washing your face. And then you apply the other products that go on your face to help layer and do what they need to do in the order that they're supposed to go in on.
So those face washes, when you say some people like this one or that one, is it really just a preference thing, or are they going to make a difference in your skin?
I think it boils down to what kind of skin you have. I have more of like an oily, dry combination skin. So I can't use, masks or things with a scrub daily just because it can irritate my skin. It can cause me to break out. My skin's like very combination with also being a little sensitive. So each person is different. If somebody needs like a lot of hydration, then they might want to do something that's a little bit more sudsy. If somebody wants something that, is, if you're very tendency to be oily, you may want something to dry you out a little bit, which might be like a mask that you leave on for 5 minutes in your actual wash.
My skin is super dry, and I've been reading and watching videos lately on sea buckthorn oil. And I actually tried it this morning. I don't know if I did it right. So I was just telling Katie before we started to record that I put it on my face and I'm going to try it and see what I think. But I don't know if you've heard of that, but I liked it. I like it so far. It feels really moisturizing.
So Steph, what's a good morning and evening skincare routine that's not too fussy? Do you have at one point, me personally, I had a 6-step routine. It kind of got out of control, but my skin, my skin liked it. So do you have something that's just a little simpler and easy? What do you do?
So I like that with the skincare line that I represent, that it's 4 steps for the most part. And basically it's the right ingredients in the right formulation in the right order to transform your skin. And that is so important. I think a lot of people wash their face, they're out the door. Here's what I need to tell you. You need to wash your face. You need to tone for proper skin cell turnover. And then you cannot leave the house without SPF. You have to put SPF on. It's in your moisturizer. It's important that that goes on first before your makeup. At night, that's when your skin's at rest. That's when it also does its work. And so things naturally can seep into your skin a little bit better. And so again, you're washing your face at night. You're prepping your skin with toner, and then you're putting on some sort of lotion, moisturization to really, really do its magic while you sleep. It is so important you do your face, your eyes, and your neck. You cannot leave any of that out. Trust me, your skin will thank you. And it is important every day we take care of our skin.
So Steph, on that, I always hear conflicting things about SPF. Of course, you have to wear it every day, but I've heard you should put it on first. And then I've also heard you should put it on last. So I never know what to believe because so many people are conflicting all the time.
I think a lot of makeup companies now in foundation, primer, things like that, they also have SPF. So I feel like I'm layering SPF on my face, regardless of what order it goes in on. But I think that so long as it's there, your makeup's not going to serve as a barrier. It needs to be on your actual skin. So I think that first and foremost, that protection comes first.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Steph, you were talking about washing your face and how important it is, and especially as you age and your skin changes. Can you talk a bit about how your skin changes when you age and how it can go in different phases throughout your life?
So I'm 43, and right now, for the first time in my life, I'm definitely seeing my skin change. I think many of us, after the year that we've had, our skin is altering a couple of different reasons. One, stress plays a big part on your skin. Not drinking enough water has a lot to do with it. And of course, environmental aggressors as well can alter your skin. So what I think is really important is that you recognize what's changing in your skin and reprioritize your skincare needs to focus on that. So for instance, stress can cause acne. Who ever thought that my acne when I was in college would reappear now? Well, guess what? The reason is that, yeah, it's a little stressful, but also I'm wearing a mask, a physical mask, and maskne is a real thing. So if you ever deal with that, it really is important to take care of it, because what happens is that when you're wearing a mask on your face, your skin can't breathe. It's trapped. So all of the oil and the bacteria are underneath the physical mask. At night, it's great to unwind with some sort of combination of a wash or a toner or a treatment that can essentially kill that bacteria. The other part is that as we age, we lose collagen. And collagen, is a really big part of our skin because it prevents sagging. So like Aim, you did the microneedling. That's great. That helps, trick the skin into needing to turn over. And then also, layering in your PM creams and your eye creams and things that can really keep your skin very hydrated will help with the elasticity, the tone, and the appearance of your skin.
I had a crazy experience with my skin, speaking of changing as we age. So as I said earlier, I've been committed to this 6-step routine, a few products for years. I mean, maybe over 10 years. And then all of a sudden, I started getting last year a ton of acne. No rhyme or reason. I didn't understand why. I think maybe it was a hormonal shift. So I had to switch my routine entirely. The one face cream and eye cream that I've used for probably 10 to 15 years is out the window now. I had to completely pivot my skincare. So that's pretty common.
Yeah. I mean, I think that your body changes and you go through different things. And sometimes, if you've been using one thing for a long time, you might need to pivot to something else. And you have to always, like I said, pay attention to the condition at hand and treat that condition before you do anything else.
Yeah, interesting.
So what about a wind down ritual? So I know we talked about skincare. And so after you do that, or even before you do that, do you have anything you do to kind of get ready for bed and relax and kind of get in that zone as we're talking about being in your Nirvana and self-care?
I mean, it is so important right now to carve out as women that little time for yourself. I find it to be a really enjoyable time at night. I mean, the time being in the bathroom is getting longer and longer and longer. But I think that it's that little special time for myself to kind of decompress, take a look at myself for a minute in the mirror. I can tell by my eyes, I can tell by my appearance, I can tell by my glow, if I had a good day or if I had a bad day, or if I'm really tired, if I need to get rest. So, I think that wind down time is nice because you can say, hey, I want to do a mask tonight. I just want to treat myself. Maybe I want to grab a glass of wine and I want to get in the bath and I want to put a mask on, or maybe I'll grab a book or listen to the Nirvana podcast and just unwind and then just have that time to feel a little bit at ease. And I always say to myself, when I'm washing my face, if I had a bad day, I'm literally washing the day off my face and it's going down the drain and tomorrow is a new day. I'm starting fresh. And I say that in my head a lot because I feel mentally it's today was not a good day, for whatever reason, but you know what? Tomorrow we can start new. So I'm taking it all off today, literally makeup, everything. It's going down the drain.
I love that. That's a really good thing to remember.
I like that one. I do that in the shower sometimes. If it's been a rough day, I wash my hair. I'm just washing this one out, getting rid of this one. So you're a very inspiring woman. You are so creative and you have created so many successful things in your career. Where do you get your inspiration from?
Oh my God, it's everywhere right now. It really, truly is everywhere. And if you're dialed in, you see it everywhere. And I think that, when I am least stressed, when I am accepting that I have to go with the flow, the inspiration that I see just keeps generating idea after idea after idea after idea. It's almost like creative to a fault. And there's so much going on up here. I think that if anyone out there is listening and they know what creativity looks like, especially in the form of abstract or digital components or marketing or anything like that, it can keep coming at you. So I feel I store a lot, I write down a lot, and then I put a lot into action so that all has a home. And my inspiration is just from friends. It's from reading certain things. It's from dialing into what people say. It's from watching what people do. I'm a huge proponent of observation. I watch a lot, I hear a lot, I listen a lot, and then I make it my own.
Yeah.
The Gold Maze, I want to hear a little bit about that. I want to hear about how you're helping people through the Gold Maze. And also, I know you do a lot of mentoring. So want to hear a little bit about that.
So I've recognized that my creativity and the way that my brain works and the way that I look at things in marketing and media is very different from how other people look at things. And I think that when you have a lot of experience stemming 20 plus years in the space, you can make a choice. You can either keep it to yourself or you can be an outlet for people. And I think that I've always wanted to pass the baton to help other people succeed in their small business. But what I've recognized is that people literally are bumping into walls. And that's why I formed the company called The Gold Maze, because I'm here to help you navigate through the maze, which can be twisted and turning, and you're bumping into things, and you really need someone to kind of escort you through the maze. And I have the key to do that. So, small business owners struggle the most because they're getting their business off the ground and they don't know about branding and marketing and one-liners. And the other aspect is that the social media platforms are changing so rapidly. It is almost nearly impossible to keep up. But when you have somebody that's by your side that can actually think ahead of the trend and are already knee deep in the trend, they can turn to you to help support you in the things that you don't know much about.
So you are obviously incredibly busy. How do you prioritize your self-care? I mean, you're such a busy mom and wife and a devoted daughter. I know that you talk to your mom daily, multiple times. That's what I've been told from. And you're obviously a super busy, powerful executive. So how do you prioritize your self-care?
Number one, you got to have non-negotiables, right? You have to have those boundaries, those hours and those times in the day where like everything just gets pushed aside. Of course, first and foremost, I love my family. My family's first. I'm so devoted to their needs and what they need in life, and very close relationship with my parents. And so we talk all the time. It's like, we sign on, we sign off every day. And I think that in the midst of all that's going on with virtual learning and trying to run a business from home and a lot of interruptions and concentration being kind of, all over the place, it's really important that you have your non-negotiables and your boundaries, and those go together. I know that between X hour and X hour, I have things that I have to get done. And there's like a literally like a bubble boundary around me that I'm not going to take calls with friends during that time. I'm not doing the dishwasher. The laundry can sit there, and I need to get done what I need to get done. And then I move into the next part of the day. For me, getting those things done pops my self-care up, because I feel like self-care is tied to emotional wellness. And my emotional wellness is not well if I'm not prioritizing the things that I need to do that day. So all those things come first. And then I am not afraid to say no. I think as business owners, especially people who have full-time jobs, part-time jobs, hobbies, other extracurricular and creative outlets, plus run a family, you need to know like what you can say yes to and pass go to. So it's important that you recognize what serves a purpose and what is not serving you at the moment. I usually have a hard time saying no, so sometimes I'll just say it's a maybe later.
That's really good advice. I love that. That's right up our alley. It really is. And it's nice to hear it from you, because I think you get into the flow and you forget. And then some days you do the things you want, other days you don't. But every time you prioritize your self-care or your productivity first, your whole day is better. And it promotes your self-care. And then you just feel good about the day versus kind of just going through your day and not having that focused moment. Okay, so before we get into our quick little wrap session with you, how do people get in touch with you?
So I'm definitely active on all the social platforms, and the new one, Clubhouse. So yes. All the rage. So I can be found on Instagram. My handle is at Steph Gittleman, Gittleman. And I also can be found through The Gold Maze.
And I just have to say, Stefany's Instagram is so entertaining. I'm always watching and commenting. And lately I've noticed you've been doing all these fun cocktails and recipes. And not only are they amazing recipes, but the way in which she films them are super creative. And I need to get some tips from you because they're just so fun.
With everything that's going on in social media right now, especially with these reels, it's so important to be the real you and not trying to be somebody else because there's a lot of copycatting going on, and it's just important to
100%.
have fun and be you and be authentic, and it's a take it or leave it thing.
Totally agree. Moving on, Steph. We are going to do a quick wrap session with you, and Katie's going to start.
So, Stefany, what is your favorite wellness or beauty hack? I'm sure you have to have a good one for us, being the skincare expert that you are.
So my favorite tip, I would say, is that when people are applying their eye cream, do you know that you are supposed to use your fourth ring finger? I think a lot of times people don't know to use that finger. It's the gentle finger, and it's not something that you want to smear or wipe on. You want to lightly tap around your ocular bone, and you don't have to have it right beneath your eye, but rather a little bit lower than that. And you go all the way around, and as you sleep, it naturally moves upward.
That's so cool.
That's a good one. Okay, so Steph, I'm going to tee up a scenario for you, which we're trying for the first time on the show. It's called the 5-minute flip. So here's the scenario. You just got out of the shower and dried off. Uber just alerted you that they're 5 minutes away. What is your quick beauty routine? What do you put on? Like, what are your go-tos, holy grails to get out of the house and in the car on time?
So first, Whitney Houston goes on. I'm actually going to dance as I do it. And then I am going to quickly make sure face has hydration on it. So it's prepped. I'm going to put moisturization on. So it's very, very ready for my next makeup routine. And I literally go light. I love products that don't require much work, look like you have taken a lot of time to put on the makeup. So I am really digging right now Victoria Beckham Beauty. And she has some products right now that actually don't require like a brush for eyeshadow. Her liner goes on. It is the smoothest, most magnificent, loveliest, silkiest liner that I have ever used on my eyes. And so those things combined with my skincare are quick. And the other thing is I love to use skincare that looks like makeup, but is actually skincare. So Radiant Defense is an amazing product. It literally can cover up, protect, perfect, and it looks like you spent hours on your face contouring.
Yes, I love that product.
I have to get my hands on that one. So how do you maintain your daily Nirvana?
Breathing. Breathing is really important. And I feel like courtesy of my Apple Watch, I'm reminded to breathe. And I swear every time that it tells me to remind, it's like I've been holding my breath. I hold my breath a lot. I never realized how much I hold my breath. It literally is like I'm asphyxiating myself. I don't know what's happening, but I must be in concentration or in deep thought, and I actually don't breathe. I'm really cognizant. I'm not going to tell people to drink water because I think that some people like water, some people don't. But for me, it's like I have to breathe. I don't know why it feels like I'm constantly like underwater. Maybe I feel like life is piled on a lot. So I'm just trying to like take deep breaths. And I think sometimes when people take deep breaths, it's a sign to somebody else that they're stressed, but I don't see it like that. I see it like you're actually like, just like makes you feel so much better.
Totally agree.
Yeah, those are all really great tips, Stefany. And the breathing one throughout the day is so important. I love that. So why don't you stick with our product review? I'm sure Amy has a good one. Amy, I'm excited to hear what it is. What do you got?
It's very funny because Stefany mentioned getting a pedicure at the beginning of the episode, which made me laugh because I was thinking about how often I've gotten a pedicure or manicure this year, which I'm sure for everyone is not very much. So my friend Erica told me about a product called Mani-Me, showing you in the camera, Manime, $25. You can buy directly at manime.co. And what they are stick-on gels, and they are custom fit to your nails. So they won the Allure 2020 Best of Beauty, and they are so easy to apply. They're toxin and cruelty free, which I love. And essentially what you do is you go to the website. It's super intuitive. They tell you to scan your nails. So you could literally use like a business card or just a credit card, and you put your nails, you take a picture of like the front and the side for both hands, you send them in, and then they send you your custom nails. And I'll show you what it looks like. It's really fun to get. I did it this morning so you could see my nails. I have this fun gold and black design. I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera here.
Yeah, love it.
But they come like this. Okay. So these are the extras from this morning, and they're custom fit to your nails. So really you just take them off. I mean, the directions are you clean your nails with the prep pad, you peel one of the gels off, press it down onto your nail, and you leave a tiny gap in between your nail and your cuticle. And then you just remove the excess from the top, and literally that's it. You could also put on the top coat if you want, just to kind of seal them. But it was funny because the first time I did it, I was a little bit nervous because I didn't know what to do. And I put them on user error backwards. So instead of this tip being on the bottom, I had it on the top because I was thinking like this was the top of the nail, the round part, but it was actually that's the bottom part that goes in your cuticle. So I called my friend Erica and she led me through the whole thing. We did a FaceTime going on and she took me step by step and then I got the hang of it and it was super easy. And since my nails are short, I just cut the end and file them, but it's so easy to do. I mean, they look like gel nails and they have so many fun colors. So this is a black and gold one, which I've gotten a few times, which I really love. It's so fun. They have solids. Like I had a dark gray on last week. I have a white. I have like a rainbow. There's just so many fun ones to put on and they stay for about 2 weeks, which is great. And then when you want to switch, you just take them off. And the fun thing I think too is like if you're going out for a night, obviously not now, but if you're going out for a night and you want to do a fun color, but you don't want that color on for 2 weeks, you just put them on and then take them off the next day. So they haven't, my nails seem like they're in good shape and they last long. And I'm really obsessed with this product. Another thing I'll say about it is the customer service has been really good because the first time I got it, I felt like it didn't fit me perfectly. Like the sides were a little bit long and I had to cut them. And I told them they sent me a new pair complimentary. And I just love that you can mix it up and try different things. And I'll post some pictures on our Instagram feed. I'll link out in the show notes, but really great product. It's called Mani Me. Highly recommend. And thanks, Erica, for the reco.
Yeah, they're super cute. Love it. So, Amy, do you have a mantra for us?
I do have a mantra before we close out. First, I just want to thank Stefany for being on the show. I've gotten so many tips and tricks I'm going to go try today. And I'm going to think about you tonight when I'm washing off my face. So I can be like, I'm washing off the day and I'm starting fresh tomorrow. So thank you for all of your stuff. And
thank you for having me.
And we are going to end with a mantra that I thought was appropriate to our conversation today. And it's nobody is too busy. It's just a matter of priorities. Very relevant. I think it's a good thing to think about as we go through the next week. Thank you so much, Steph, and good seeing you, Katie. And we look forward to next week on another show of Nirvana Sisters. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Stefany. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Nirvana Sisters. For more information on this episode, check out the show notes, please subscribe, and leave us a review. Also, find us on Instagram at Nirvana Sisters. If you loved what you just listened to or know someone that would, please share it and tag us. Tune in next week for a fresh new episode of Nirvana Sisters. We'll continue to watch out for all things wellness so you don't have to. Bye.